welcome to the Mousiemakes podcast. I'm Helen, and this is my little space on YouTube where I chat to you about the things I like making and doing. It's really lovely to have you here. You're very welcome. And today, I'm not going to show you any crafty things, but I'm going to talk about notebooks and diaries and bullet journals. So yeah, notebooks first of all. Well, I can't remember a time when I haven't loved notebooks. I really love notebooks. Even when I was a little girl, I can remember I used to make notebooks out of old Christmas cards and birthday cards. So the card would be the outer cover of the notebook, and I would cut and fold paper so that it fitted in and then sewed the pages in place because I didn't have a stapler in those days. And I just used to fill them with all manner of things, little drawings and little stories. But probably more than anything else, I filled them with lists, because another thing that I've always done, as far as I can remember, is to make lists. My dad was a great list maker, so I'm sure he must have influenced me a bit. But I just love making lists of anything, not just to-do lists, all sorts of lists. And probably today you might see one or two of the lists that I've made in more recent times. My daughter gave me a lovely little notebook here. Perfect for me. It's not going to focus. Doesn't really want to focus. Anyway, hopefully you can see it says lists, because everybody needs a hobby. And yeah, I think I should probably count list making as one of my hobbies. Anyway, that's a lovely little notebook. So I use notebooks for all sorts of things. I always seem to have quite a few notebooks on the go. I think I'd like to maybe reduce the number that I have, but I always have one by my bedside. This is my current one, just for jotting anything that comes to mind, really. It's a reminder thing. It has got some to-do lists in it. It's got ideas for things I might like to do, all sorts of things, really. Quotes that I come across, and just things that I just scribble down and which I may transfer elsewhere. And I was just looking at notebooks that I've already filled in, and I've got a couple of book journal type of notebooks, which obviously, I'll come with a format ready to fill in about the books that you've read. And I love doing those. I like looking through those. But since I finished the second one, I haven't had another book journal. So I suppose I've recorded elsewhere what I've been reading. I have a few notebooks that I jot patterns in, knitting and crochet patterns. Sometimes, for whatever reason, I just put them in a notebook. I'm not quite sure why, because that's not really the most useful place. And I have a couple of times had a go at keeping a notebook to record all of the things that I make. And this lovely notebook there with the dragonfly on the front, a gorgeous cover. I think I did it when did I do it? Starting from January 2017. And I kept it, let's see, I kept it for 2017 anyway. Oh yes, it goes into March 2018. And then I just stopped recording, what I was making and what yarn I used and stuff like that. And in the back I was sticking the yarn labels and bits of the yarn and colours that I'd used. So I'm a bit sad that I haven't kept that up, really. I would like to have a record. I have another notebook here which has got sketches in it, and I am really, really not very good at drawing. I'll probably say that more than once. But I would really like to be better at drawing, and so a few months ago I decided I would set aside a notebook and I could practice sketching things. And I actually don't even want to show you those because I'm not really no, I don't want to show you those. I have a notebook, a newish notebook, which I am putting in my ideas for podcasts, and recording which ones I do and when I upload and all sorts of things, jotting things. So that I think I quite like. Last year I did keep podcast ideas in a notebook along with lots of other things, but I decided I would quite like to have a dedicated one. So there we go. That's notebooks that I use at the moment. But because I love notebooks, the problem with that is that I kind of build up a bit of a backlog, shall we say. And I think an embarrassingly large backlog. See, people who know me know I love notebooks, and so of course they buy me notebooks very kindly, beautiful ones. I've got some really lovely ones that I have used, but some waiting to be used. And if I go out shopping, then I'm very easily tempted by a new notebook. And suddenly all thoughts of all the other notebooks that I've got get erased from my mind, and I think, oh yes, this will be great. And it's okay if I'm buying it for a particular purpose, but you know, very often it's just I'm just attracted to the notebook and think, this is lovely, I'll find something to use it for. So I thought, I was watching a podcast recently, I think called Little Drops of a Wonderful Life. A lovely lady called Ali, who that podcast is a vlog of her family life, and it's really lovely. I can recommend it. But in this particular episode, she was confessing to how many unused notebooks she had around the house, and she gathered them all together and sort of showed what she had. And I'll leave a link to that particular episode. Actually, you might be interested in it. And so I thought I maybe should do a bit of a confession of the notebooks that I have got. So I gathered mine all together into a box, and I'm going to show you a little video now of all of the beautiful notebooks that I've got that are waiting to be used. Okay then, so let's just take, first of all, some tiny little ones, the kind that I would normally keep in a handbag, so they're useful and will get used. And then there's some just kind of standard notebooks, not special ones, but useful ones. A small size, and in this bigger size. I like it when they've got these dividers with little slots in here. I find those useful. So I've got a couple of those. And a few more little, what I would call jotters. Quite a lot with a musical theme. People give me notebooks with musical things on. And another sort of jotter here that actually looks a bit like a tablet. So, and a lovely stripy notebook that is lined. Very nice. This one's lovely. It's got lovely illustrations in the end papers and throughout the book. There's illustrations on some of these pages. Well, most of the pages actually. Oh, it's beautiful, that is. I don't know what I'm going to use that for. Oh, look at this one here. That's one of those really posh ones. See that there? Yeah, and it's got even little latch there, and that is all plain sheets. Very beautiful. Yeah, the problem is that sometimes notebooks you feel like they're too beautiful to use and spoil, which is very silly. This nice one here, which is another blank page notebook. This is sort of an exercise book, really. I would class that as the sort of a jotter. Every day I think, this is a lovely notebook I got for, you can see, Mother's Day, not last year, from my daughter. You are literally the best. So not used yet, but it's got lines on it, and that I'm certain will be some kind of knitting notebook. This notebook here is one with pages to fill in, so it tells you what, or gives you ideas for what to write on each page, different lists, which obviously is very appropriate for me. Somebody else gave me this. gives you things like list places you've lived, list your jobs, list your biggest fears, and it's got illustrations in it as well. So lovely book. I just haven't started it yet. This one is called A Woman's Journal, blank pages with quotes by women in it. And this is a variety of pages actually. It's got some lines, it's just got some, that shows up very well, faded flowery backgrounds, and of course, as it says, some quotes by famous women in there. So it's really lovely. I do like that. Another one with a lovely cover there, and more plain pages. Very nice. One with a musical theme here, and which is lined, and it has has some sort of musical quotes in it, and because it was sent to me by my lovely friend Eva in Germany, the quotes are in German. So another exercise book with a musical cover on it, and yet another lovely musical notebook. Look at this one, it's got one of those magnetic catches there, all ready and empty, waiting to be used for something. I know not what yet. Oh, this is another gorgeous one as well. I think I did actually buy this one. This one's just lined pages. And look at this one as well. This is another one with a magnetic catch and a musical theme. And this one is lined. So very beautiful. Look at that. I love it when they've got that sort of fake antique effect. It's really lovely. And oops, my pile is about to fall over here. Right, okay then. One here, birds on the front. I think that one is lined on there. And then another bigger notebook, which is just got blank pages, I think. Quite a big one. I don't often use them that size, but it's, yeah, very lovely. Okay, so that's it. Right. That's quite a lot of notebooks. So there we go. That is the extent of my notebooks in waiting. I really don't think I need to buy any more. So anyway, I think as an extension of my notebook keeping from when I was a child, that for some reason or other led me into keeping a diary. I think actually I was given a diary one Christmas when I was probably just a young teenager, I think. And I started keeping that diary. It's just a week to a view, so there wasn't a lot to write in each day, and but I became completely addicted to writing diaries from that day. And I think since I was a child, I have kept a diary pretty much every single day. So I just love doing that. I can't not do it now. I tried to stop for a while. I decided not to have a diary, but just to have a notebook that was a diary, and told myself I didn't need to write in it every day. But I didn't like that at all. I didn't like it that if I hadn't written one day, I couldn't write the next day if I still wanted to write about yesterday. And oh no, that didn't suit me at all. I went back to proper diaries, and I have a very large collection of diaries, just of daily life. Nothing. Sometimes I comment on what's happening in the wider world. It's one of the last things I do before I go to sleep. And I like just thinking through the day. And it doesn't matter how mundane the day has been. I just like, remembering the day. So yeah, that's my diaries. I have some beautiful diaries. One of my favourite shops, stationery shops, is called Paper Chase here in the UK. And so here's my 2018 diary with one of these magnetic catches. And that one actually is 4 days to a double spread. So I get half a page of that for each day. I like that because on one double page spread it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on the next double page spread it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then half a page is notes. And that means if I do a bit more at the weekends, then I can extend into that section as well, which I quite often have. So yeah, then another similar one also from Paper Chase was 2019. I went into a smaller one though last year, but that's because, slightly smaller one anyway, that's because I decided to have a page a day, a whole page for a day. And yeah, when I got this one, I promised myself, right, you don't have to write a full page, you don't have to fill the page every day. But in fact, there's hardly any days in here which are not full, because I think it's a bit like a handbag. You just, whatever size handbag you have, you fill it, don't you? And that's what seems to happen with my diary. I just fill the whole page with goodness knows what. Yeah, so yeah, and my current year diary is the same. I decided I liked having a whole page, so I kept a whole page. But I think my life was somewhat revolutionised when I discovered about 5 years ago the concept of bullet journaling. Wow, I mean, that was just made for me and for people like me who love notebooks, who love recording things that they've done, recording their thoughts, who like inspirational quotes, who like colours, coloured felt pens and coloured pencils, a bit of doodling. Oh, that was just made for me. So I decided to start keeping a bullet journal alongside my diary. So not really keeping the bullet journal as a diary, but for lots of other things. And for the first couple of years, actually the first year I didn't do a full year, I think I started in May. But the first couple of years, I was really just trying out ideas that I saw suggested, you know, places like Pinterest and bullet journal websites and YouTube videos of people showing how they were setting up their bullet journals. So we tried lots of things out, and probably for the first couple of years, and gradually, you know, over the last couple of years, it's really changed. I think it's changed each year, in fact, and I think that's how it should be. So I'm going to show you a little montage of views of my first two bullet journals, 2017 and 2018, and because you might like to see. I have to stress that the ones that I have now, last year's and this year's, are quite different to those actually. So, but we'll talk about that another time. Here's some videos of my first two bullet journals. there you go. So that's what I put in my first couple of bullet journals, and they have here. Excuse me, Mousie. So this was my first one, and it's made by a company called Paper. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, because it's actually spelt Paipur, but it's really lovely. It's as you might have been able to tell with the video, it's got a dot grid on one side of a double page spread and lines on the other side. So, and I did quite like that. And so I had a paper one for the first 2 years, actually for the first 3 years. Yeah, my third one, which you can see is a lot thicker, this one. That's because I changed the way I used it. But I've changed to a different make last year and this year. So, but I'm going to show them another time. I think I've probably rattled on quite enough about just notebooks. How can I have talked that long about notebooks and diaries and things? I could probably talk a lot longer, but I think I don't want to make this too long. So I'm going to come back to bullet journals in another podcast and just show you how I've developed and talk a bit more about, how I go about setting my pages up and things like that. But I hope you've enjoyed the sort of a quick taster of what I've done so far. So thank you so much for spending a bit of your time with me. It's really lovely. I am so enjoying the comments that some of you have been making. It's so nice to feel like you're out there and enjoying some of the things I've been talking about or showing you. So I will be back again very soon, in a week's time, hopefully. That's my schedule that I've set myself for the moment. But until then, keep busy, stay nice and safe, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.